7 days ago, the AI landscape looked completely different. Then the floodgates opened. Microsoft dropped a framework that makes AI systems teach themselves from their own mistakes. OpenAI released models that can explain exactly why they flag content as dangerous. Telegram's founder unveiled a decentralized AI network running on blockchain that could challenge Amazon and Microsoft's cloud dominance. Elon Musk launched an AI-powered encyclopedia designed to make Wikipedia obsolete. Adobe demonstrated technology that looks indistinguishable from magic. YouTube quietly started upgrading everyone's old videos to crystal clear HD using artificial intelligence. IBM released AI models small enough to run on your phone but powerful enough to beat competitors 10 times their size. And Nvidia became the first company in human history to cross a $5 trillion valuation, larger than the entire GDP of Japan. This wasn't a normal week in tech. This was the week multiple parallel futures crashed into the present simultaneously, and most people have no idea it even happened. What unfolded over these 7 days will reshape how AI learns, how content gets moderated, how computing power gets distributed, how knowledge gets verified, how creative tools work, how videos look, how small devices think, and how much economic power concentrates in companies building the infrastructure underneath it all. Let's break down what actually happened and why each of these announcements matters far more than the headlines suggest.
Microsoft's self-teaching AI. Microsoft just solved one of AI's most frustrating problems. How do you make an AI agent get better at its job without rebuilding the entire system every time you want to improve it? Their answer is Agent Lightning, a reinforcement learning framework that watches what AI actually does in the real world, what questions it receives, how it responds, what works, what fails, and then teaches it to improve from those experiences autonomously. Think of it as giving AI a memory of its own mistakes and victories, so it can train itself smarter over time without human intervention. The genius is in the architecture. There's a Lightning server handling training behind the scenes, and a Lightning client sitting close to where your AI operates, continuously collecting performance data. Every time an agent answers a question, uses a tool, or receives feedback, that data flows back to the server to make it incrementally sharper. You can use your browser, chatbot, or workflow normally. Agent Lightning just quietly learns in the background. Microsoft tested this across 3 dramatically different domains. First, they built an AI that converts natural language questions into database queries. Text to SQL translation using the Spider dataset containing over 10,000 questions. Then they tried it with a retrieval system digging through Wikipedia-sized datasets with 21 million documents to find and summarize accurate answers. Finally, they gave it math problems and connected it to a calculator so it could solve them step by step. In every case, the AI improved noticeably with each training cycle. The framework includes something called automatic intermediate rewarding, essentially giving the AI small hints along the way, instead of just pass-fail grades at the end. This makes training smoother and faster, and it's open source, meaning developers can plug it into their own projects and immediately start improving their AI agents. Microsoft just made it exponentially easier for any AI to learn how to do its job better, faster, and more independently without constant human supervision. OpenAI's transparency play. While Microsoft focused on learning systems, OpenAI took a completely different approach this week. Online safety with transparency. They released 2 models, GPOS Safeguard 120B and GPOS Safeguard 20B, built specifically to detect harmful or fake online content. But here's the crucial distinction. These aren't typical open source models. They're open weight models, meaning developers can inspect parameters and see how the system makes decisions, but they cannot alter the underlying code. This gives researchers transparency without creating security vulnerabilities. What makes these models genuinely different is they explain their reasoning. Instead of just labeling content as unsafe, they highlight why something was flagged, showing the decision-making process. They were built through Roost, the robust open online safety tools initiative, and tested with partners like Discord and SafetyKit. Both models are now available on Hugging Face for research, and OpenAI is explicitly inviting the broader safety community to stress test them. This represents a step toward measurable accountability in AI moderation, something governments have demanded, but few companies have actually delivered. The transparency could set new standards for how content moderation systems operate and get evaluated. Telegram's blockchain revolution. Over in Dubai, Pavel Durov, Telegram's founder, unveiled one of the boldest blockchain meets AI projects attempted so far. It's called Cocoon, short for Confidential Compute Open Network, and it runs entirely on the TON blockchain. The goal is building a decentralized AI network that keeps user data private while connecting GPU owners with developers who need computing power. GPU owners plug their hardware into the network, process AI tasks, and get paid in Toncoin. Developers pay in the same token, creating a peer-to-peer marketplace for computation. What makes Cocoon genuinely revolutionary is privacy architecture. Every task processes in encrypted form, meaning even GPU providers cannot see the data they're working on. Durov said the world has been losing digital freedoms over the last 2 decades, and Cocoon is his attempt to reverse that trend. Telegram will be the first major customer, integrating Cocoon into its apps and bot ecosystem starting November 2025. With over 1 billion users, Telegram's involvement could push decentralized AI into mainstream use rapidly. They'll use Cocoon for AI tasks like message summarization and draft writing, jobs that normally require sending user data to centralized providers like OpenAI or Google. Applications are already open for both sides of the network. GPU providers list specifications, model type, memory, uptime, while developers specify which models they plan to run like DeepSeek or Qwen and how much compute they'll need. Shortly after the announcement, AlphaCoin Capital, a NASDAQ-listed company, pledged heavy investment in GPU infrastructure to power Cocoon, deploying high-performance GPUs worldwide. CEO Brittany Kaiser called it a pivotal moment, linking blockchain, data protection, and AI, while Chairman Enzo Villani said Cocoon solves one of AI's biggest market gaps: privacy and security at scale. Cocoon directly challenges AWS and Azure's cloud dominance. The big question is whether they can attract enough GPUs and developers to make it competitive. But Durov's reputation for building privacy-first technology gives the project serious credibility. Musk's knowledge war. Elon Musk just launched Grokipedia, an AI-powered encyclopedia built on his XAI model, designed to rival Wikipedia. The fundamental difference is philosophical. Instead of volunteer human editors, entries are written and maintained by AI to minimize human bias. Musk's stated goal is an unbiased knowledge platform that updates itself intelligently, addressing Wikipedia's oldest criticism: editor bias and inconsistent accuracy. Grokipedia uses XAI to process and verify data autonomously, trusting algorithmic objectivity, while Wikipedia relies on community consensus. Reactions have been predictably polarized. Supporters call it the future of factual accuracy. Critics argue AI cannot fully understand nuance or context the way human editors can. Either way, it proves how deeply AI is pushing into information systems that have traditionally required human judgment. Investors and tech analysts are paying close attention because if Grokipedia works, it could redefine how online information gets curated and verified. Even if it fails, it's another example of Musk testing boundaries of what AI can replace in the human knowledge ecosystem. Adobe's magic show. Adobe basically stunned everyone at Adobe Max 2025 in Los Angeles during its Sneaks event. Think Oscars night for Adobe research. They demonstrated over 10 experimental tools, each looking like technology that shouldn't exist yet. Project Motion Map adds animations to static Illustrator designs using text prompts. In the live demo, a still burger image came alive with each layer animating separately because the system automatically detected and separated them. Project Clean Take lets you edit speech directly from transcripts. Highlight a word in a video transcript, change the tone or swap it for a different word, and the voice updates naturally. It also isolates background sounds into separate tracks so you can adjust or mute them, and even replaces background music with AI-generated royalty-free versions. Project Light Touch changes lighting in photos after they're taken. In demonstrations, flipping virtual lamps on and off changed entire shadow layouts in seconds. Project Frame Forward lets you edit full videos by editing just one frame. The presenter removed a paddleboard from a clip and erased wedding guests from backgrounds, all by modifying a single frame in Photoshop, with AI applying changes automatically to every other frame. These demos show Adobe's research arm pushing generative AI deeper into creative processes, blending visual and temporal reasoning so editing becomes almost conversational. YouTube's invisible upgrade. YouTube started AI upscaling videos across its platform. Low-resolution uploads, anything under 1080p, will now automatically upgrade to HD and soon to 4K, though only on TVs initially. When active, you'll see super resolution under video quality options. Creators can opt out, but the default experience is about to get dramatically sharper. YouTube also expanded thumbnail limits from 2 megabytes to 50 megabytes, meaning true 4K thumbnails are coming. They're adding immersive previews for flipping through channels on TV, new shows layouts bundling videos into bingeable collections, contextual search prioritizing results from the channel you're on, and even QR codes linking directly to product pages mentioned in videos. TVs are YouTube's fastest growing surface, and these updates make it feel more like an interactive streaming hub than just a video site. IBM's tiny giants. IBM just dropped Granite 4.0 Nano, their way of squeezing serious AI power into tiny models that run directly on your device. No data centers, no cloud bills. There are 8 models ranging from around 350 million to 1 billion parameters, trained on the same massive 15 trillion token dataset as IBM's biggest models. Even though they're small, they carry equivalent intelligence. The hybrid versions mix 2 different AI architectures, using dramatically less memory without losing transformer model capabilities. That means they run on laptops, phones, or even inside browsers through tools like VLLM, Llama.cpp, or MLX. IBM made everything open and transparent, fully open source, ISO 42001 certified, and cryptographically signed so you know you're downloading authentic versions. When tested against competitors like Qwen, Gemma, and Liquid AI LFM, these tiny models actually performed better on general reasoning, math, coding, and tool-using tasks. Granite Nano is small, but punches dramatically above its weight. Nvidia's historic milestone. Nvidia made history by crossing the $5 trillion market cap line, the first company ever to reach this threshold. The stock closed at $274, up about 3%, putting its valuation above the GDP of India, Japan, and the United Kingdom. Just 3 months ago in July, it passed $4 trillion. That growth rate shows how massive GPU demand has become. Every AI model depends on them. Nvidia's chips, once designed for gaming, now power almost every major AI deployment globally. CEO Jensen Huang recently revealed new chip orders worth $500 billion, a $1 billion investment in Nokia for 6G development, and a partnership with Uber to build autonomous taxis. They're also teaming up with the US Department of Energy to construct 7 AI supercomputers. Last month, they invested $100 billion in OpenAI for data centers dedicated to future chatbot models. Despite concerns from the Bank of England and IMF about an overheated AI stock market, Huang insists this isn't a bubble. He says chatbots have evolved from novelty to real profit engines and hardware demand backs that claim. Whether or not markets correct later, Nvidia's dominance looks unshakable right now.
This wasn't just a busy week in tech. It was the week multiple futures arrived simultaneously, each pulling the present in different directions. The question isn't whether AI will reshape everything. It's whether we're ready for how fast it's already happening.